A powerful storm system will be coming to the United States this weekend, and this will bring some more problems, including heavy snowfall in parts of the Midwest and the return of severe weather on Saturday and Sunday from the southern plains back into the southeast and even parts of the Ohio Valley. So in today's forecast, we are going to break down exactly what you need to know about this next storm system that is coming to the United States. And we'll begin with what's happening across the United States today, and things are a lot quieter than yesterday. We just had an intense storm system move across the Midwest and the Ohio Valley. Plenty of severe weather, a bunch of different tornadoes and dust tornadoes happened from Illinois all the way back into western Ohio, but luckily the severe weather is done in this region, at least for the next couple of days. But we also had a huge blizzard that happened back over from Kansas into Nebraska, Iowa, and Wisconsin. Hundreds of cars stranded overnight on different highways due to all of the snow and as well as the very high winds that have been happening in this region. Let me know in the comments below how much snow you end up seeing if you're anywhere in these areas. Definitely a lot from last night. We even have some snow moving into Illinois this morning, and that'll eventually move into Indiana and Ohio later today, believe it or not. Even just after we just saw severe weather, we are seeing all four seasons within 24 hours for many of these areas. And then back over on the West Coast, things are pretty quiet for right now, despite there being a lot of cloud cover, but there will be plenty of rain and snow coming from Washington to California as we go into Friday and Saturday. For the rest of today, you can expect some snow and rain to continue back over in the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes, and back into the Northeast. There will be some showers and thunderstorms that'll impact areas from Florida back into North Carolina and Virginia, but severe weather is a very low risk for today, even near zero for most areas. By the time we go into this evening, there will be some snow flurries and light snow moving across Ohio and even back over into the Appalachian Mountains as far south as northern Georgia. So keep an eye to the sky tonight if you want to see a few snowflakes, because this is probably the last time you'll see it until December or even into January of next year. And then eventually, as we go into late tonight into early tomorrow morning, there will be some snow falling across northern New England. It will be heavy at times, but it's going to be very quick moving, so we're not expecting any significant snowfall accumulation. And then eventually, as we go into Friday afternoon, that's moving out, and yet again another small storm system moving across Canada as we go into late tomorrow and early Saturday. That will also impact the Northeast with a little bit of snowfall Saturday afternoon. The big story is what's going to be happening as we go into this weekend, as we are expecting a large storm system to impact the United States, but it's going to be very different from the last two storms that we have dealt with just in the last 7 days. The big tornado outbreak Friday and Saturday, and then also the storm system we just had yesterday impacting many areas in the Midwest. So let's talk more about it. This is the jet stream here. Right now we do have a big dip in the jet stream across the eastern tier of the country. This is a large low pressure system that'll bring a little bit more rain and snow. It is a weakening system as it continues to move east and northeast, which is hence why we don't really have much of a risk of severe weather or even heavy snowfall today in these areas. Eventually, as we go to late Friday and into Saturday, we'll have another small storm system moving across Canada, which will bring a little bit of snow and rain to areas like Michigan and also back into the Northeast. And then eventually, as we go to late Saturday and into Sunday, this right here will be our next storm system. Notice how far north in the upper levels this low pressure system is. That is very important because it's going to kind of depict what we're going to see in terms of severe weather and snowfall. So I do expect that there will be a pretty good amount of snow that'll be falling in the upper Midwest on Sunday. On the other hand, I don't really think we're going to have as significant of a severe weather event as something like Friday or Saturday, because our upper level winds are so far off to the north. The main focus on Sunday for severe weather is going to be in Texas all the way back through Alabama and Tennessee, which you'll see here in a second. And overall, the highest and strongest amount of winds are going to be located a bit further to the north. So what that means is I think for Sunday, for our severe weather risk, we're going to be talking more about a hail risk rather than tornadoes, but there could still be tornadoes. It would just be an overall lower risk in general. As we go into Monday morning, this storm system will continue to move to the east. Notice how it's really quickly moving to the east, going towards New England. So overall, this storm is going to be a 1 to maybe 2 day event, and then it'll be out of here. And then as we go into next week, there will be a huge ridge that is going to be forming back along the west coast. And this is very important because this will basically prevent big storm systems from entering the United States as we go into the middle and end of next week. This could lead to a elongated period where we don't really have any big severe weather events happening, maybe for about 5 or even 7 days. So definitely something to look forward to, I'd say, for most of us, because we don't really want severe weather, and we're getting closer to the severe weather season really ramping up. So let's hope that this is a trend that does continue. But I do think the very end here of March is going to actually be quieter than what we've already seen here over the last week or so. So that's some really good news. Again, that could definitely change, as this is still a long-term forecast. We're talking something that is over 7 days from now. But anyways, that would definitely be a nice little change to our weather forecast after all the crazy weather that we've had over the last week. Now let's talk more about the severe weather potential for the next few days, and we'll begin with Saturday. Back over in the Central Plains, there is a low-end risk for severe weather, mainly in Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas, for a little bit of isolated hail and wind. It's a very low risk overall. As we go into Sunday, the risk of severe weather expands quite a bit. We have a slight risk of severe weather, which goes from Kentucky all the way back into Texas. And again, a lot of you might be thinking this is a repeat of what we just saw Saturday. It's not the same type of setup or event, but we will have some damaging winds, large hail, and potentially a couple of tornadoes across this region. There is a good chance that we'll go live on Sunday, especially if this looks a bit more significant as we get closer. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel and click the bell icon so you're notified if and when we do go live. So over the next 24 to 48 hours, that large storm that just brought severe weather yesterday will make its way out of the United States as we go into tomorrow morning. A little bit more snow and rain is possible in the Northeast on Saturday. There will also be some heavy rain and snow, mainly focused across Washington, Oregon, and Northern California throughout the daytime today and as well as into tomorrow. On Saturday, that rain and snow for the most part will clear out of the Pacific Northwest, which will lead to a lot of energy moving over the Rockies and creating another powerful storm system in the northern plains. This will be a little bit weaker than the storm we just dealt with over the last few days when it comes to wind and as well as blizzard potential, but it will still bring snow and as well as severe weather. Notice as we go into Saturday night that we'll be dealing with some severe weather trying to spark up back over in Missouri and maybe even over in Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's mainly going to just be some hail and wind. Snow will start to get very heavy across areas like Minnesota, North Dakota, and South Dakota as we go into Sunday morning, and that'll also stretch in parts of Wisconsin in the upper peninsula of Michigan. As we go into late Sunday afternoon, that is when we're expecting some showers and thunderstorms to fire up from around Dallas, Fort Worth, all the way back into southern and central Kentucky, where there will be some isolated to scattered severe weather, including damaging winds and hail, and perhaps a couple of tornadoes. Right now, this does not appear to be, again, a significant tornado risk, but that could change as we get closer. We'll definitely keep a very close eye to this. As we go into Monday morning, snow will continue back over in Michigan and into New England, and then there will still be some storms out there across the Dixie Alley. But generally speaking, this storm is going to be fast. It's going to basically weaken as we go into Monday afternoon. Very little severe weather will be left over in either Georgia or Alabama as we go into Monday afternoon. And then by Tuesday, this is all clearing out. High pressure at the surface will build across most of the Great Plains and the East Coast. And for right now, we're not really expecting any more significant severe weather events, probably for about a week. And what I mean by significant would be something like a more numerous to widespread severe weather event. If anything, we might have a couple of isolated severe weather events next week, but for now, does not look like anything major. That could definitely change, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We'll keep you posted with any new updates that come out of these upcoming storm systems, especially as we go into a very active April. And for those that are looking for some late winter and early spring snowfall, there is a chance. This says the probabilities of seeing greater than 1 inch of snowfall between now and April 1st, and a lot of this is honestly what's happening today back over in the Midwest, but there is a chance, mainly back over in the northern plains. The probabilities are increasing quite a bit there. Even back over into the Northeast, probabilities are relatively high for at least 1 inch of snowfall between now and April 1st, which is April Fool's Day. This is not an April Fool's joke, by the way. And then back over in the Pacific Northwest and Rocky Mountains, we're going to continue to see snow for probably the next month or so until we eventually start to see some warmer weather kick into gear as we go into May. And our temperature roller coaster will continue into the weekend. Cold air will be moving into the Northeast, warm air building across the Great Plains on Saturday and Sunday before eventually another small shot of cold air will move across the Midwest and the Ohio Valley on Sunday and Monday. By Tuesday, warm air is really building across the Great Plains and back along the West Coast. The West Coast has not really had much warm weather here over the last couple of months, but there will be much warmer weather building in. So enjoy that while it's here. I think it'll be a nice little weather pattern there across the four corner states and also along the West Coast. By Thursday into Friday, another shot of cold air is likely back over in the Northeast. This one could be a bit more intense with well below average temperatures being possible back over into the Northeast and the Ohio Valley. By Saturday and into Sunday of next weekend, this is about 10 days from now, it will probably be above average for most areas in the Great Plains and the West Coast, with below average temperatures continuing back over in the Northeast, but predictability becomes a lot lower anywhere beyond 7 to 10 days from now. So the Climate Prediction Center is forecasting below average rainfall in the Southeast and as well as in the four corner states over the next couple of weeks. Definitely not something we want to see, especially with the fire conditions that we've had recently. Not much rain has fallen here over the last few months, and the Southeast also in the same kind of boat here. A lot more rain is needed, especially in Florida. Above average rainfall expected across the northern tier of the country and then also back into South Texas, and Texas desperately needs rainfall. snowfall. In terms of our temperatures, above average temperatures are expected in the Great Plains and all along the West Coast between Tuesday of next week all the way through Saturday, which is the 29th, and then below average temperatures appear more likely if you're in the Ohio Valley or back over into the Northeast. And as always, thank you all so much for watching today's video. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below, and don't forget our 1 million subscriber merch is still available at shopmaxvelocity.net. This is one of the best ways to support what we do here on this channel. We have our signed hats, t-shirts, mugs, stickers, and much more. You can check this out at shopmaxvelocity.net or the top link in the description below.